Hi, wie geht's, wie steht's? And welcome back to Cook Like a German. And today for our European fire and flavor, we are choosing the country Norway. Looks like a tiger over here. Norway, Sweden, Finland. But Norway is the country we are cooking for. What do we do for Norway? Well, we have this water like soaked cedar wood, and we have a clamp what will hold a nicely full-size fillet of salmon, like Nordish salmon, and we will cook this like the Vikings did, like Finland, Sweden, Norway do today. It's a grilling in the backyard. Just face it, you have the salmon or also trout or other fish in here, and we are adjusting indirect heat by changing the angle. And we will build this fire a little bit more, and then we will see how it goes. But first we have to attend to our salmon and give him a little rub before we put it on. Alright, so as we explained, we have a salmon. There's a nice Nordish salmon fillet. You really would like this with the skin on because that protects the fish on the cedar wood. But before we use it, we have to make a little bit of like a glaze. To make this glaze, what we will use is like a little bit of dill. That's honey. There's lemon juice pressed. There's a rough mustard. That's a Dijon mustard. More dill. That's juniper berries. This is pepper, black pepper. This is olive oil and sea salt. This is our salmon. You want the skin. This here will go on the skin on the cedar wood. And with our salmon, we beef it up a little bit German-wise, American-wise, German-wise together. We have corn, what is already cooked, and that will go also on the fire pit. And we're making a roasted pepper and some roasted onions with it. And we already made a German Bavarian style salad. I showed so many times, and our YouTube channel has a recipe for it. And let's see. First we make the glaze. So now we are glazing our salmon and let it rest for maybe an hour. Alright, now we're making a little bit of rub. So we have the glaze, but now we are making a rub. So we have the chive, the juniper berries, the pepper. Keep it simple here, and the sea salt. So we mix them quickly together. So we have a little bit more glaze. We will have the dry rub too, and the olive oil. We will use all of this while it's on the plank and just baste it so it doesn't burn, and it gives an extra. And we also will use some on the corn, what also will be great for taste. So let's wrap this guy up for, let's say, an hour, and then grill. All right, let's see if we get that fish on there. Believe it or not, that's the first time that I try this grilling method, but I'm very intrigued. I'm gonna use my little, whatever you find in your garden for now, and then we build something better. But now the first thing is get the fish in here. Two things you should have with you when you do this cooking. And one thing is little olive oil, because spray it so the fish doesn't stick. And more important, water, in case it dries out and catches fire. You don't want to burn your plank. As you can see, the plank has been soaking for good an hour in water. This actually steams the fish, but it also prevents it from burning down right away. So now we open up. First, we give it a little olive oil. Now we are adding some dill. Our fish has been in the refrigerator. I mean, you can do like really 1 hour, 2 hours, 3 hours, 4 hours and glaze it and marinate it a little bit in it. So that's up to you. It's the same with the amount what you saw when we made the glaze. I would say 1 tablespoon for everything what is not super salty and super peppery, and 2 tablespoons for the mustards. That's up to you, everyone, but eyeball it and taste it. Like I said, skin down to protect. Remember the more dry rub we did? This comes in handy now because we will apply this. Now we close it. Now comes the fun part, directing it at the fire in an angle. Okay, let's start with a 45-degree roughly angle, low down to get some good heat. This is a stainless steel chain, what we will use to change the angle when it gets too hot or needs more. So first I bring it up. Two things. A, it keeps it from tipping over, but also B, it gets us a control over where do we want it. Here, 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 or further down. So we start out with a good amount of heat, but we want to make sure that we don't have the flames right on our salmon. We control it. It will take around 30 minutes plus, depending on the size. And we will also check the internal temperature, maybe 145, I have to check, but somewhere in this area, and we are done. In between, we get our veggies on. So we leave this in this position for maybe like 15 minutes. Let's see how the heat evolves. So it's interesting, really. This method of grilling in the Nordic countries goes back to the Vikings. So we are talking about like roughly 1200 years. That's a steep number of years. And it still is done with the cedar wood. They're putting the cedar planks, the big ones from the timber, they're putting them actually in the rivers. They put some stones on it, let it sit there overnight and make like whole, whatever they catch, like a whole fish, like a trout or actually a real big salmon, and put it on these giant cedar planks, and it's for the whole family around the fire. And still is done the grilling like the Nordics do. Like the Americans do also use the cedar wood, and not only on your gas grill, what we all know, little cedar wood, put it on. No, you're using your fire pit and have big cedar wood, but we developed the horizontal plank cooking. So it's not standing up, it's right over the fire. So it's a little bit different. All right, so we see like we are getting some cooking in the bottom. There's a pretty good heat here. So what we will do is we undo the contraption and turn it around. Now we have 15-20 minutes in. Let's put the veggies on. With a little bit more olive oil. The little salmon, also a little glaze. So I checked the temperature, so the fish can definitely go 10, 20 degrees more. So we bring it down a little bit. All right, so those veggies are good. We like the char on it, definitely. We have our sauce on it as our glaze. And with the peppers, if you have ever done it roasting, you just scrape it up. See this? It comes off and it's nice and tender and smoky. All right, let's get the plank off. Whew. Open it up. That might be hot. Plank can be used, it's a thin one, but even this, when it's soaked, it can be used most likely at least 2 or 3 times, so don't throw it away, just clean it up. That's good. It's a tiny bit under in the big side, but not much. So lesson learned, get from the manga equal size piece, both sides thick, and also don't rush it. Give it at least 30 to 45 minutes. All right, so for some people it might the big part might be a tiny bit on the raw side. I think it's a medium rare, like a nice filet mignon, but I like it this way, so we'll see how it comes out. And I do love that it has a skin. Caramelized. Let's try the veggies. You taste the smoke. Sweet. And the onion. Very good. The more I eat it, I have to say there's a huge difference between like a griddle or like a restaurant cooked on a plate, on a heat plate salmon, even the grill, because it's so juicy inside. It's very tender, very tasty. Thumbs up.